Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. Today I wanted to take the time to cover all of the Blue Post hotfix changes that have been implemented, and quite a few things that haven't even showed up on the Blue Post that I have noticed that have changed as well, and all of these are really cool and exciting, and I am very pleased to see that they're actively making the game better, because that's always good to see from the dev team. So without further ado, we're going to switch it over to this Blue Post and dive right into it, so I'll see you when we get there. Alrighty, so here is the modified Blue Post. They posted originally on August 13th, and they also tweaked it a little bit to add a few new things. So, August Stone fragments are now capped at 55. It was 45. I love this because it would suck if you're saving for a piece for 40 and then you did a dungeon and you just rotted some stones, or you had to teleport out and get more stones. Anything like that just felt really, really bad. So, love to see it at 55. I honestly don't know why it's capped. I mean, I know why, but it doesn't really matter. In rated battlegrounds, non-tanks holding the flag now take 20% increased damage. As intended, it was 25. So that gives rated RBGs a reason to have a tank so they can be flag carriers. So that's really cool and interesting. I don't think that was originally in there. Fixed a bug preventing Exalted Reputations achievement from progressing with MOP reputation, so that's good. Paint It Red and Unleashed Hell no longer autocomplete, must be completed as originally intended. So those are the starter quests. I actually made sure to complete every single one of them on all of my characters because I figured that they would at some point remove that. So I actually did that part correctly. Then Celestial Dungeon tweaking. Blessing of Chi-Chi's Blazing Song now lasts 15 seconds and healing increased. So it lasts longer, heals more. Blessing of Yulon's Serpent Jadefire application reduced to 3% and periodic damage reduced. So huge nerf to that. Yulon was so good that even as like a monk, a warrior, anything, you would take Yulon no matter what. Even as a tank, I was taking Yulon. Zwin's ferocity can now jump to an additional target and its direct damage is increased. Its direct damage was 10k, it is now 20k, and it hits a whole nother target. It's a massive increase. I was cranking today with it. Then Blessing of Nazu, Ox of Fortitude duration increased, and the stamina provides per stack increased by 1%. Honestly, I would just recommend you take Zwin. Like, it is the better. You don't need the Narzu to tank it unless you are severely undergeared. I would just highly recommend going damage and taking Zwin. That's what I'm doing on all of my characters. Then the Daily Celestial quest should no longer be removed when entering a random dungeon. So that's funny. If you go into like a random heroic and not the Celestial, to remove the quest, which is just really weird, but also really funny to see that happen. Next, we have raid changes. So the Spirit Binder should now correctly summon shouty minions regardless of when he is put into combat. So this was a really, really unique bug, and this bug was utilized by a lot of people. I had even started doing it because I had finally heard about it. And I can tell you, last night when we did our raid, it was not... It was implemented correctly, and we did not get the bug, and we ended up wiping for the first time on it. So what the bug was is if you pulled the boss, the moment he landed, you could completely disregard the Spirit Realm phase, and you would just B-res your tanks and just straight up nuke the boss in time. And I had that work in a few 10-man groups that I did, but never got it on the 25 one because I didn't find out until it was already patched. Then the Cutting Edge and Ahead of the Curve achievements can be earned again in Mogoshan Volts. This was the part that was added today, and I actually killed the imps last night and were able to get that, so I will definitely show you that when we head back over to the game. Then Enchanting Jade Spirit and Spirit of Conquest now have the same per level scaling and internal cooldown of 3 seconds, and Dancing Steel and Bloody Dancing Steel now have the same per level scaling. So I guess if you had one enchant that was Dancing Steel and one enchant that was Bloody Dancing Steel, they had separate internal cooldowns, so you could kind of like abuse that a little bit as well. So good to see them fix that. Let's see some of what the people say. This hotfix does not always work. Sometimes my pet growls in instances even when growls appearing disabled. Please buff the lesser DPS classes, even if it's 3 to 5% baseline. Frost is so weak compared to Unholy DKs yet again. So underwhelming having to get a 2H to go holy when we want to stay Frost, which brings me to my next point. Please increase the drop chances of the 1H DPS axe off Elgon. Literally everyone is bonus rolling that damn 2H or it's dropping off the boss, which is basically forcing us Frosty Case to go unholy and stay relevant. Otherwise we are griefing because we're using one-hand webs. Appreciate your consideration on this matter. To my knowledge, I will say that we have bonus rolled like 7 star shards in my guild, and I don't think I've seen the axe drop at all for anyone, and I don't think I've seen it bonus rolled at all for anyone. So this dude definitely, my experience definitely correlates with what he is saying. So I don't know for a fact, but it definitely seems right. Then is this when they do the dance combo on weird angles? So that's talking about the world bosses performing their axes and the dance on the final boss. For what I noticed is an issue with the pet and all that fun stuff. And we actually have more notes that were just posted 6 minutes ago. So Galleon now respawns every 30 minutes, was 1 to 2 hours. The avatar of the Celestials Vendorless cleaned up substantially. The players should no longer see armor pieces that do not correspond with their best armor type, or items that provide a primary stat that are non to their class specializations to utilize. So I was going to show you guys this right here, and that's why we were by the Celestial Vendor. So really good to see that. Then Celestial Dungeons. Clearing a Celestial Dungeon now rewards the heroic achievement. Blessed Gymnazu, Oxen, Fortitude, Agility, and Intellect per stack increased to 5%. Now lasts 45 seconds, can proc every 2 seconds. Zwin's Ferocity scaling with attack power increase in damage per loss per jump reduced to 5% was 25. Jade's periodic damage reduced is now scaling with spell power. Scaling with spell power is increased. Chi-Chi's Blazing Song periodic damage is reduced and his scaling per spell power is increased. The visual for Blazing Song has been color shifted to green to make its intended behavior more clear. So green for healing, so it's now green instead of red. That's really good. I love all these changes. Once again, still going to use Zwin. There's literally no need to be tankier with Nazu. Zwin's probably still better, so I stand by that. I'll may mess around with it, and that could change because getting the 5% stacking last 45 can proc every 2 seconds. At the higher ends, it might be better, but Zwin will definitely give you more consistent. It's scaling with attack power, means it probably scales with vengeance, so that's going to be really fun, but we'll see. But awesome changes for that. Holy crap, thank you for the Galleon. That is just absolutely massive. Looking for group is just invite Gal all the entire time. So Galleon every 30 minutes is great. I'm glad the devs are listening. And then the gear is so much better. That's what I was going to highlight and show you ahead of the curve in game here, but nice to see that we caught a blue post live as we were happening to record it right now. So anyway, I'm going to switch it back over to the game and I'm going to show you those things. So as you can see here, we ended up getting the ahead of the curve achievement right there. We finished it tonight, so it is in there. It does drop. And then the Celestial Vendor, I am on a Brewmaster Monk, so I can only see the pieces that I could possibly use on a monk. So I'm only seeing leather, I'm only seeing the polearm, I'm only seeing the fish weapon, I am seeing the one-handed mace and the Fury of Winds because I'm a brewmaster. But really good to see this and all the trinkets there as well. So much better and way less confusing than having to scroll through 10 pages to find your gear because you can see everything. Huge change. Very nice to see that. The only other complaint that I honestly have now after these hot fixes is to give us the BOA satchel. I can't stress this enough. Whatever idea you have that is gatekeeping or people are going to stack a bunch, it doesn't matter. Let us gear our ults, let us play more. Don't gatekeep it for another 6 weeks. Let people play their ults, let people gear their ults with their main. Celestial Dungeons will be so much better for this. People will be able to gear other ults, raid numbers will go up, people will participate more. Even if it's me playing 5 characters, that's still +5 and everyone sees it instead of +2 that I'm currently doing. And that's just me specifically. I know there are thousands of other players out there like me with tons of ults that would want to gear them, so please add it. You're not gonna like any world first or race to world first for WoW Classic that you think you're gatekeeping. There are hours before it goes launch, if not days, I think, for people to get their Heart of Fear Shaw Touch weapons and Heart of Fear gears, and those people are going to do it. They can put an infinite time, so even if they have a few hours, they are going to farm the shards and go and get it. So I just genuinely don't see the reason for gatekeeping this BOA satchel bag. So once again, there is my my plea. But anyway, guys, I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, anything you add, definitely drop it down below. And until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.